What's happening, everybody? Welcome to AudiblyChill Live. My name is Zach. Nice to see everyone. I go live randomly just to say hi and kind of hang out when I got free time. No one's in here, nor should they be. Today on my lap, this is a Reverend Pete Anderson Eastsider dude. This is really cool. Natural Karina body, probably the most traditional guitar I've played from Reverend. I mean, it's a telly. That's all it is a telly. So we'll kind of open with like a. One of those strings is out of tune. I'm not going to fix that. But yes, welcome to Audibly Chill. You don't know how to flirt in English? I don't know. Just compliment my shoes or something. What is going on? Welcome in. Hi. I definitely recognize your username. You've commented before. Very nice to see you. Oh, but yeah, I'm really enjoying my time with this guitar. Like I said, Reverend Pete Anderson Eastsider. I I've done a lot of work with Reverend in regards to just I've done a bunch of guitars of theirs in my videos. This is not one of my favorite ones, but it is really fun to play. I'm enjoying my time with it. That's a brand that I really dig having as a part of the channel. Just because like they're different. Reverend is a different brand. With all the bodies being Karina, that in itself is very, very cool. Um, but even just the little tweaks in the headstock, the fact that you're always getting locking tuners, I think that's really sick. The price point is where it should be. All the QC is happening here in the States, is my understanding. That final check of just like, hey, this is good. Every Reverend I've picked up, I've really, really enjoyed. I wish the necks were a tad thicker. That'd be like my only real thing. I wish the necks were a little thicker on Reverend guitars. Outside of that, for the money, one of the best brands you can get. I would say it's Reverend and Yamaha. Reverend and Yamaha for that around the $1,000 price point cannot beat them. One humble man's opinion. Oh man, so tones today. Going through the Princeton. Honestly, it's kind of my go-to. Um, Digital tones versus tube tones. Probably on average tubes sound better. I don't play my digital amps very often anymore. The Princeton just does everything. Reverb that you're hearing a spring reverb and a dynamic hall reverb coming from the Helix and a 335 delay that just kind of goes along forever. When you let it decay out like that, if any of you have ever played with like really long trail delays, it can really muddy up what you play. The mix knob is your friend because by itself, like that delay is in your face. But when it sits under the note, like if you can still hear all the notes and everything, then you're fine. But when you stop playing, that beautiful majesty just carries on into the wilderness. It's beautiful. So, title of this live stream is Guitars, Amps, one other word I can't remember, and Cats. Oh, yeah, bands. What are we listening to, people? What kind of music are we listening to lately? Any bands that just like got you by the nads? I'm kind of embarrassed to say the last band I was listening to on Spotify is an AI SpongeBob artist. I don't listen to like AI artists that pretend to be real, but listening to like a metalcore song and all the musicians are SpongeBob characters? Come on. That's what AI is for. Progressing society? Nah. No, no, no. No, we're making metalcore. Oh, man. I think the artist was called Boy What, Boi What. And yeah, there's like there's a progressive metal tune on there that is sung by Plankton from SpongeBob. And then SpongeBob has a little interlude in the middle that's badass. The song's called Neon Tide. Look that up. It's like if you're against AI, which totally understand being in the arts, you're going to be confuzzled because you're like, I don't agree with this personally, but this song smacks. Especially if you're around my age. I'm 30. SpongeBob was kind of a big deal when I was a kid. Uh, yeah, definitely go check that out. But like, please, get in the chat if you're hopping in. What are you listening to? What bands are just really piquing your fancy right now? I basically always listen to intervals on rotation. Intervals is never, I've probably never gone more than 3 days without listening to intervals in the last 5 years. Like, it's crazy. I listened to some Tiny Moving Parts today. If we got any Midwest emo math rock fans in here, Tiny Moving Parts. Uh, an artist was recommended to me on Spotify called Eli with a period. I thought that was kind of cool. That's AI. Moving on. K-pop Demon Hunters. Was listening to that too. That was Christmas Day, my wife's request. Silverstein and the Devil Wears Prada. Dang. Silverstein's dope. They didn't they just drop a song called Cherry Coke? Was that them? I liked that tune. It wasn't as heavy as a lot of their other stuff. It was kind of more modern, radio friendly, ballady type stuff. But I dug the lyrics in Cherry Coke. I'm almost positive that was Silverstein. And then Devil Wears Prada. I've listened to them. Not like a giant fan. They're a good band though. Have you seen them live? They strike me as a band that's probably very good live. Put on a good show. Oh, I did listen to the new 3 Days Grace album. Uh, I was excited to see the new lead singer and the older one, Adam. Like every song is like a dual lead singer thing. It's pretty awesome. I know 3 Days Grace is like 15-year-old radio emo rock. Speaking of which, I remember I haven't seen them live. Where are you from, person? What country are you from? Um, but yeah, 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin. Like when I was a kid, they called that like emo or whatever, right? And it always kind of made me laugh because I did indulge in that when I was a kid, but kind of secretly, so did everyone. How can something be emo and made for loners when it's on like huge radio, right? If it's being played everywhere and everyone's listening to it, it's not for the loners, it's for the masses. My mom listens to 3 Days Grace. Like, come on. You are from Brazil. Well, thank you so much for watching from Brazil. That's awesome. Are you a guitar player? Do you play guitar at all? Couple of fretted out notes there. I'm not a professional. Can tell you that much. Well, that's cool. I think it's dope. Anybody, even if you just play a little bit, anybody that picks up an instrument and is like, I want to express myself with this instrument, that's super cool. Or even not even express yourself, just like learning tunes, you know? Like I distinctively remember when I was a kid learning like Back in Black. There was a Stevie Ray Vaughan song that I learned really early on. Like, pretty powerful stuff. you're just like, you're not consumed with the way it looks or whatever. You're just learning songs, having fun. Kind of missed that, to be honest. The guitar was like new and exciting. And don't get me wrong, I still get excited about guitars. Matter of fact, out of any of the videos that I do involved around gear, guitars are still what I'm like most excited for. I don't really get jonesed about amps, you know? And then pedals are kind of hit or miss for me. Sometimes pedals are really inspiring, but most of the time, like, it's just new guitars. Holding and playing different guitars does more for me than anything else. It just feels like, I know, like, people would probably chastise me for saying this, but you look at amplifiers. It's just a way to make things louder, and yeah, there's a lot of tone that goes along with that. And amps are super important, especially if you're a professional. But I feel like there's enough really great options in like budget amplification, especially if you're a bedroom player, to just get super good tones for not all that much money. Um, if I'm not a gigging person, I would put the money in the guitar over the amp. I don't know if that's a super hot take or not, but I feel like, so like this guitar here, the reason I took this home the other day, I'm doing a video on it. I just picked it up and I was like, wow, this is a really cool version of a Telly. It made me want to play it. Bang, that's what I take home. I don't feel that way about any other type of gear aside from guitars. Pretty insane. New guitar day is better than any day. That is a fact, what I just said. I haven't bought a new guitar in quite some time, and I'm like itching, 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 itching. Dark ominous. You know, it's like, does anybody, I see there's 3 people in the chat. I know he plays guitar a little bit. Anybody else here play guitar? If so, what do you like to do when you're just chilling? I like, throw another delay on there, have them cascade against each other. That is how I play like 60% of the time. If I'm just chilling, that's the move. Middle pickup, a lot of reverb, a lot of delay. You just get that space. Love it. Absolutely love just playing with super thick, spacey type tones. I don't know. That's been like the last couple years now. Half the time there's no distortion whatsoever. Just chilling with like a really good, heavily reverberated and delayed tone. Awesome. But if you do add some overdrive to that, something is wrong with the patch setting on the Helix. I will figure that out at a later point in time. That distorted sound did not sound good on this guitar. I will say that's the downside of using a Helix for all your distortions and all your wet effects. You kind of have to create banks and like patches for specific things. So like, I take this guitar home, I plug it in. The reverbs and stuff will sound similar to my other guitars, but like the distortions and everything, it's got to be fine tuned to the individual instrument. Otherwise, it just sounds like shit, like full time. And with my subpar guitar playing, like I can't have that. I need all I need all the help I can get. Speaking of subpar guitar playing, I mentioned playing with a lot of like wet effects. Hitting a wrong note while you have delay on is the worst fucking, like, and it'll just like, Oh my God. And it just keeps going. You feel like a failure. You know what I mean? Your mom calls you, is like, I heard that from another state. Stop playing for the love of God. Respect yourself, respect your neighbors. That's how I feel. Dude, anybody here that's watching Greg Koch? Anybody here a fan of Greg Koch? That's one of those I would love to be able to play. Not the super like gimmicky chicken picking, like very niche to him stuff, but he can just play anything in the moment immediately perfectly. Right? It's unbelievable. It really is insane. And everything he plays, he's one of those players where like the moment he starts playing, I feel like some of us are just like, well, that's him. That's definitely that guy. Nobody else can do that. I would love to be able to be that expressive. But even after over a decade, like I'm just locked into ooh, I'm just locked into like scale shapes and triad shapes. Every once in a while I can let loose and it just seems to kind of fly, but for the most part, navigating around things and playing over songs, my brain is still very much like in the neck, if that makes any sense. I really envy people that are able to free up the mental space while they're playing. And Greg Koch is a prime example of like, if I think it, I'm just gonna play it. It's your mediocre tone. Hey, let's fucking go. That's what I'm talking about. You can always recognize it. That's exactly right. Man, I don't know. I've kind of talked about this before of like good tone versus bad tone. When I have everything here properly optimized, I love the way that it sounds, but somebody else might come in here and be like, that sounds like shit. It's like, is it a good tone or not? I don't know. I'm having fun. Is that's what matters, right? Like if I'm digging it, then cool. I hope other people enjoy it. It's the most self-conscious thing I am about my videos is like the audio side of it, like the audio engineering stuff. I'm like barely scratching the surface of that stuff. You want to talk about a rabbit hole? Oh my god. That Pedal Show did a video where they took you behind the scenes and showed you how they did all their audio setup. I watched it and it was like, oh my jeez, like that's insane. The amount of like data they go through. I think Mick said it's like a terabyte per video, I think is what he said. Because it's like an hour and a half long, the episode, and it's shot in 4K, and then they're using like real tube preamps and stuff like that, and it's just crazy. Ah. I'm returning this guitar in a few days. I've really enjoyed my time with it, man. It's like I'm a telly dude, and Reverend is constantly doing like their version of classic designs, which is dope. Don't get me wrong, Reverend Guitars is sick. But like even the headstock on here, it's just like a mildly tweaked telly headstock. They don't have the bass contour knob that Reverends always have, but it does have this. This is pretty cool. So if you pull up on the tone knob, it does that out of phase middle position thing. Let's turn off two of those wet effects. You can kind of hear it a little better. That's with it on. Would that be a cocked wah? Is that what they call that? I think that's what that is. It's either that or it's uh like the Peter Green out of phase thing. I've actually never played a Peter Green guitar before, so I don't actually know what they're talking about. I guess you can get like strat tones from a Les Paul if you have it. I have no idea. I'm not a Les Paul guy. We got any Gibson fans in the house? Gibson's a brand that, like, I've owned them. I've owned some really nice ones, but like none really stand out to me anymore. I cannot remember the last time I played a Les Paul and I was just like that. Or an SG for that matter. I have played a 335. That was pretty amazing though. That was fairly recently. And then Flipside Music over in Denver. That's a pretty badass first electric guitar. Like a Les Paul Studio, that's awesome. My first guitar was a Drive Wildfire. I got the guitar and the practice amp for $60 from Goodwill. And when I went to trade it, I don't even remember what wound up happening with it. The store could not give me money for it. They're like, it's worth so little, we can't give you money for your guitar. As a 30-year-old man, I'm looking at that and realizing I don't know how that's possible. They just must not have wanted it. I don't know. Dang, bro. No. See, Gibson fanboys will tell you like not to make fun of the whole headstock and neck snapping thing, but like it happens all the time. Like 13 years old, gutted, dude. Yeah, horrible. That's see, that's one of the reasons why I love tellies. Going back to Greg Koch, he's always like you can treat them like farm animals and they just like stay in tune or whatever, right? At the end of the world, there'll be cockroaches and tellies, and the tellies will be in tune. That's like his joke. Straight facts, dude. They stay in tune really well. They're fun to play. You can with the different pickup configurations, you can get a ton of tones. But Gibsons, like, if you stare at your guitar long enough, this whole thing just gets fucked. Like, it's crazy. The headstocks snap off. The G strings always go out of tune for me on a Gibson. I've played Paul Reed Smith single cuts, which is basically a Les Paul, and I didn't have that problem with them. Dude, you're a glowing example of insurance paying off. That's sick. Gibson put a whole new and got some strap. Yeah, 100%. Do you still have the guitar? I don't have any of my first 30 guitars. I sold them all. That's awesome. Hold on to it. Please keep holding on to it. That's super, super sick. Oh, man. I gotta tell you, I have so much content in the works right now. I'm really, really, I don't want to talk too much about the content stuff, but I'm so excited to share some of this stuff with the world. Man, next month I'm going to NAMM. I'm going to try to make it, I don't want to milk it, but I want to get some content out of NAMM. Only stuff I think is cool. I'm not really interested in like projecting into NAMM. You know what I mean? I want to cruise around, meet people, make some relationships, or at least the beginnings of those, and then just share some stuff that I find is cool with people that can't make it. Um, Texas Toast Guitars is based out of Colorado. I'm getting a tour of their facility, I guess, at some point soon. I gotta say, the things I'm excited about the most are working with these like smaller companies, man, because these are like individual people trying to feed their families, right? I just did a video on this Texas Toast Monticola Telly. You got class. Hey, thank you for hanging out so much. Appreciate you very, very much. Go get some sleep. Enjoy school tomorrow. Don't drink. No texting and driving. And be swell. I know nothing about people under the age of 25. Anyways, um, yeah, I'm excited to work with these smaller companies, man. Texas Toast Guitars, I just did a video on. God, they made a telly that was so fucking good. It was like literally the moment I felt the neck, I was just like, no. Cuz you want to play a guitar that's good, that's really good. You don't want it to be like super great cuz then you start doing math of like, well, how much debt can I realistically get into here? Like the moment I started playing it, I was just like, dang. The body was made out of local white western pine, uh, maple neck with a maple fretboard, like a medium C-shaped neck. It had a little more girth to it, but not super crazy. Dylan Talks Tone, the YouTube channel, his pickups were in it. Got to run birthday party to attend. Hey, tell them I said happy birthday. They don't know who I am, but tell them I said that. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate you for listening to me ramble for a little bit. Yeah, that telly was so good. And those are the companies that I want to. Cheers, appreciate you so much. Yeah, there's a lot coming. I really, really hope that that you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I love making it for sure. Um, but yeah, that telly was just the best. There's a local pickup maker, Planet Tone pickups, and again, there's just something super, super cool about. I mean, if at some point, like, let's say Seymour Duncan reached out and was like, "Hey, we'd love to send you a set of pickups or whatever," like, I'll gladly take them. And if they're good, like, I'll make content about them. I'm not into that. I'm cool with that, but the brands I want to really work with substantially are smaller local brands that make just shockingly good stuff. Really surprisingly good stuff that people just don't even think about. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really, really excited for the stuff that's coming in a couple months. In June, there's going to be a Denver Guitar Expo. I'm going to try to get a bunch of footage of that. And yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say on that. I've got a lot of. There's a local independent luthier named Mark. He's literally just a guy in his house, builds some awesome, awesome, awesome guitars. I want to showcase that dude as well. Like, just tell other people's stories, man. There's only two people in this chat. I'd love to get any opinions on this idea. Um, there's a lot of used gear here in the Denver area, right? Vintage gear. What if I made videos like showcasing people's vintage gear? Like if they're cool with like just swinging by and like showcasing it for the world. Would that be sick? Like right now, 5 miles from me, there's a dude with like a 64 Strat that he's selling. He's going to be holding on to that for months because the market for who can afford that, and B, give a shit, is like really, really, really small. So I wonder, like, just reaching out to him, like, hey, dude, you want to swing your guitar by my studio? I'll make some dope content about it. And then, like, maybe they'll sell it because it gets a little exposure. I get to play a 64 Strat, and then you guys get to see a 64 Strat. That's sick. I don't know. Just spitballing, dude. Spitballing ideas and like hopefully it works out. But regarding like bigger manufacturers that genuinely right now, the two on my radar is Reverend and Yamaha. The Yamaha RevStar P90 that I took home like a month and a half ago, dude, that guitar was stupid. It was like I saw the price point at what, like 1,049 or something like that. Wild, insane. Stainless steel frets. The pickup sounded amazing. The bridge looks like a floating trapeze type bridge, right? But it's not. It's still a fixed bridge. Like, it's just so good. I would love to have a Yamaha RevStar. Chris Buck is also awesome. and that dude is like a champion of Yamaha. And oh, what's that dude's name? Matteo Mancuso, the fingerstyle guy. You seen that? He plays Eruption by Eddie Van Halen. It literally looks like this. I can't even mimic doing that as good as he does it for real. Like, to see Eruption played like that, he looks like Billy Sheehan. He looks like a bass player. Insane. He's a big Yamaha person. Funny enough, I just referenced Billy Sheehan. So is he. Yamaha bass. Uh, dang. Well, I've been on here for like 30 minutes. Not too many people have cruised on by. Should I schedule these in advance? Is just randomly dropping this crazy? I don't know. I was in the basement bored, had nothing else to do. I just wanted to talk to some folks about music. Oh, man. I want to get another telly personally. And then I want to get like a 339 type guitar. The problem is I don't know of any brands off the top of my head that make a 339. I feel like if anybody does like a semi-hollow, they're always going after a 335. But Yamaha does make something called an SA 2200. It's a 335, but not Gibson. I'm kind of interested in that idea. That would be kind of cool. I've never played one. So, I mean, hopefully they're good. I would assume so. It's Yamaha. Oh man. Well, I got really nothing much else to say. I'm just kind of chilling at this point. Um, yeah, I think I'm going to cruise on out. I just wanted to hang out with people for a little while. Thank you to the couple of you that engage with me. Appreciate it. To anybody who sees this in the future, if you like the channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. My name is Zach. I run this channel called Audibly Dumb. This has been Audibly Chill Live, and I will see you guys on the flippity flop. Heyo. Or I'll hang out for another couple minutes. It's all good. I was here late as well. There was no plan for this. But hi, thank you for coming by. I usually, when I live stream, I do it on Sundays at around 11. But the problem is that, like, Sunday is like the only, it's not the only day, but Sunday is a day where I'm either going to be with my wife the whole day, or I try to just like get the busy work part of content done if I can. It's a good time to do it. There's a lot that goes into it that has nothing to do with being in front of the camera, and that's like the tedious part. So, hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Bunch of nerds, I swear. But like, sincerely, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I just like having fun, man. Music is literally the greatest thing people have ever done. Music and like flaming hot Cheetos, I'm good. So as much as I can express that and like chill with other people, and if I can give you a laugh or two, tight. You a guitar player? I'm always curious about that. For whatever reason, I assume the people that watch play guitar, but like it's recently come to my attention a shocking amount of people that watch my stuff don't play guitar. 7 years. Well, you're probably better than me. Oh, I was talking a little bit ago about the content coming in 2026. I have decided that I am going to be building parts casters, and then I'm just going to give them away. Give them away to subscribers. I don't know how I'm going to do that, like regarding the selection process. I don't know how that works. Um, but yeah, I did a voting poll for a parts caster build, and it was for like a Jazzmaster with humbuckers and a tremolo. And I kind of just thought to myself, I'm like, if you spent the money to build that, you don't want to own that, which I don't. That's not a guitar that I want to own, but I would like to build it and then give it away to somebody who will want it and play it. So that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. I have not actually fully publicly announced that yet. So now me and two people, I guess. No. So I'm really looking forward to that. I just hope that the guitars that get put together, I hope they're good, and I hope that they um I do want it to be random, you know? It'll probably be like to funnel it, right? There's probably going to be some specific pieces of content where you have to comment something. See, the thing is, I don't like asking people to subscribe, right? It's like if you want to comment, comment. If you want to subscribe, like that's entirely up to you. Does it help me? Yeah, but this isn't about me. This is about like you, how you spend your time with the content you choose to watch. If I'm a part of that, sick. But like I don't want to be like I'm giving away a guitar and all you have to do is subscribe. I don't like that's not my vibe. It's more so even if you're not subscribed, even if you just watch the content, if you never like, never comment, never subscribe, if I never know you exist, but you still watch it and get some enjoyment out of it, job done, good with me. So I think the most I will do is maybe like you do have to comment here or something to be eligible, but I can't stand the asking for subscribers thing. YouTube's 20 years old. I feel like people know if I want to subscribe, I will, you know? It's like Rick Beato. Nothing against Rick Beato, but like in every video, he's like, please make sure you subscribe. Only 61% of my viewers are subscribed. You have like 5 million what? You're doing fine. So that way I can get more of my dream guests. What? You've interviewed everybody who's not Paul McCartney. That's literally the only person left, right? Anybody here watch Rick Beato? Holy shit. I hope I think of something fun. I hope I figure out a way to do it fun. ESP or Sterling Music Man, uh, very different type of guitars. ESP is more like, well, wait, what kind of ESP are we talking about? Are we talking? Because I know they do make some like T types and like some more affordable S types, but I feel like ESP is much more known for the Les Paul metally type of thing. And then Sterling leans more into the super strat bolt on thing. And if we're comparing those two, I would lean more towards Sterling Music Man. Dude, Music Man is fucking awesome. So unbelievably cool. I've played a number of Music Mans where I'm like, oh, that, I want to own that. Uh, oh, it's a family reserve $3,000. Never mind. But the Sterling stuff is really good. For me personally, If we're gonna go bougie, the LTD 256. Who the hell just gets a guitar from a stranger? Where do you live? I'm moving there, dude. Living in Denver, I either get like a peace sign or someone tries to punch me. A full white jazz master, like a bucket head jazz master, a bucket master. LTD 256. Oh, okay. Yeah, so the 256. First of all, the color is dope. The lemon burst color, that looks super sick. Um Again, Sterling Music Man. Well, hang on. Oh, you didn't mention the model. Yeah, the Sterling is going to be totally different, I feel. Different vibe entirely. I have found and I've kind of settled on I prefer bolt-on necks. The pickups can change. I mean, it no matter what, the pickups are going to do their thing. Um but Tellys are my favorite. Strats come second, and then semi-hollow guitars like 335s, 339s, Sheratons, stuff like that. Jason Richardson. Yeah, those are pretty different guitars. I don't know that I can compare them. That's really hard to compare. The the best guitar I've ever owned in my life, I'm very thankful that I kept. The Telly that you see in all my videos, I've got it over there, the Sir. That's the bougie brand that I really, really enjoy. Is John Sir. Best guitars in the world to me. They're expensive and like I can't even justify that cost anymore, but I'm glad I got that guitar when I did. It was the right trade at the right time, and I've had it for years. I play it like 90% of the time. It's so good. Oh, well, yeah, like a thin line telly. The video I just released the other day was on a thin line telly made by Texas Toast Guitars. Amazing. The semi-hollow telly thing is the truth. You get like a lot of like math rock and like Midwestern emo type scene. It's always the semi-hollow thin line with the wide range humbuckers in them. So sick. So unbelievably cool. I don't know, man. Like for guitars, I just like vibe. That's the biggest thing. I try not to get hung up on neck shape. I try not to get hung up on body shape as best I can. We all have our preferences. But like sometimes you pick up a guitar and on paper it's nothing like you would want. But then you start playing it and you're like, "Damn, this is awesome." But the opposite happens too. Sometimes you'll read about a guitar and you're like, "This is everything that I want." And then you play it and you're like, "No. I'm not that is not a thing. That is gross." I'm that way with Fender now. When I think of guitars that I want to buy, Fender is not the a brand that I look at anymore. Yeah, dude, same thing. Like I go to a guitar center and I'll pick up a bunch of different guitars and I am just like uninspired by everything there. It's very rarely do I find something anymore where I'm just like, "Oh, this is amazing." Like most guitars are kind of shit. It's only select ones that are like and at any price point. I've played there was a $150 Squire Strat that I played once that like knocked my socks off. So at any price point, you can find amazing guitars. But the difference between Guitar Center or somebody like Flipside Music, which is the local store here in town, one of them, when you go to a store like Flipside Music with a little bit of a smaller inventory, they can set up each guitar appropriately and you're much more likely to enjoy what it is that you're playing. And plus, they got real players in there too. Not to say Guitar Center doesn't. A lot of Guitar Center employees are like real touring musicians. But at a place like Flipside, they just seem a little bit more into it, you know? If anybody watching here works at Guitar Center, I'm sorry, but I am just going to say this. The thought of listening to what a Guitar Center sounds like all the time freaks me the hell out. You know, like you're trying to do your job, you got a phone call ringing, there's 4 people deep in line, and behind you is just this sea of Come As You Are being played incorrectly, and Sweet Child O' Mine, and some dumbass playing Stairway because he thinks it's funny. Like, I mean, sometimes you walk into a Guitar Center, it feels like you get punched in the face. You're like, oh my God, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. Tarpley's music. See, man, and there's something to that. And you know what? I am actually curious. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but like when you go to Guitar Center, you play a guitar. The millions of hands that have touched that thing, and the guitar hasn't been tweaked at all to account for that. I heard Rob Chapman recognize this once. Just by feel, he recognized the guitar must be a metal guitar because the thin strings were really bright and alive, and the thick strings were kind of dead, which meant that kids were just going da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like all day long. That's what you're playing when you go to Guitar Center. So I'm curious to know, like, are most of the guitars shit? Or do they just need like a decent setup because it was shipped from halfway across the country and the guitar didn't acclimate properly? There's one tech in the entire building, and this is a giant Guitar Center. So he can't set them all up. I wonder how much validity there is to that, dude. Do they suck or do they just need worked on? A lot of pickups are uninspiring, that's for sure. Setup or no setup, pickups are pickups. Ew. The Sir that I have, I put a couple of Duncans in there a couple years back, and I haven't looked back since. I put a Pearly Gates in the neck, and I put a quarter pounder in the bridge, and it's been awesome. I've really, really enjoyed it. Oh, man. Tarpley's music. Where's that? I've never heard of that before, dude. Oh, Texas? Is that what that is? Yeah, so regarding amps, I went I used to have a bunch of different amps. I've had Marshalls, I've had a bunch of Fenders. I never was super big into buying a lot of amps. I've always been much more interested in the guitars. Uh, Behind me here is a Fender 68 Custom Princeton. I play that the vast majority of the time, and it's because you can kind of make it sound like anything, which is cool. With the right overdrive pedal, you can make it sound really aggressive and nasty, but the cleans are unbelievable and at lower volumes, which is sick. But I don't have the whole thing set up right now, but I play digital amps too. So on top of my Princeton, if you see that box, that is a Seymour Duncan Power Stage 170. I believe it's a 170. And my Helix is plugged into an AB box, and then that AB box splits. One goes to the Princeton, one goes to the Seymour Duncan Power Amp, and then the Power Amp feeds the 212 cabinet that the Princeton is sitting on. Which, by the way, look at how perfectly the amp sits on the cabinet. It's like it was made for it. That was a happy accident. I got home with the tube amp. I set it on top, and I was just like, "Ha! Hell yeah!" It looks cool. It's very functional. But long story short, I love digital amps and I love Fender tube amps. And the idea is, for every guitar, I have a channel for the tube amp and a channel for the digital amp on my Helix. And then I swap back and forth with my feet. 3 button presses is what it takes for me to go from tube to digital once everything is turned on. And then each channel on the Helix is optimized for whatever guitar I'm playing. And to answer your question on this, this is a Reverend Pete Anderson Eastsider. I've got a video. I'm going to do a video and a short on this. It's coming out probably in the next week and a half or so. It's a natural Carina body. Can my camera? Yeah, you can see the wood grain. Natural Carina body with the binding. And then the little thing they added is in the middle position. You've got like the traditional tone. If you pull up on the tone knob, it does the quacky out of phase thing. Not super usable for me. I honestly just prefer the normal like middle position. I have enjoyed my time with this. It's lightweight. It's probably right around 7.5 pounds. The whole, like, all Reverends are made out of Carina. Love that. That's super unique. Maple neck, rosewood board, locking tuners. What more could you want? And it's like $1,000. Brand new. Oh, man. Hey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Oh, yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad that you dig it. There's a lot coming, man. There's a lot coming. Partscaster giveaways, content from NAMM, the gear stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. Woo! Got a lot of work ahead of me. I'm getting fired up. But yeah, Clint Hammock, thank you so much for watching the content, dude. Really appreciate you. Ibanez tagged into a 412. Dude, Positive Grid is no joke. There's a couple of the kind of, I don't want to say intro amps, but like bedroom amps. The Boss Katana is insane. The Positive Grid Spark is insane. The tube amp thing, I mean, I'll tell you right now, this Princeton, right, is 12 watts. At 12 watts in this basement, I cannot get this amp above 3.5. It goes up to 10. What? Like anything higher than 3.5, and it's just too damn loud. So, like, I think for Fender amps, if you're gonna do a pedal platformer type thing, actually, I will say the one thing Fender amps do like incredibly well. So this is just like dry tone, right? Turn that up a little bit. So this is the built-in reverb and the built-in tremolo, so that like Did my mic pick that up? That's one thing that I think Fender is like, that's why you get a Fender. To have that built in. See, it sounds really, really cool. So most of my modulation and stuff, I do just use the Helix for that because it sounds really, really good and it's easier than twisting the knobs. But I'm just gonna jack up the reverb, turn off the tremolo. This is the reverb on the amp all the way up. It's that splash. Dude, so I started with a Helix Stomp and then I have a Helix LT, so it's like the cheap version of the full size Helix. I've had it for years. I literally I do videos about pedals. I don't own a pedal at all. I just use the Helix for everything. $550 is what I paid for it, pre-owned, for the Helix LT, and I've loved it. But yeah, dude, that reverb, I can't get that splash quite right on the Helix. I can get close, but especially when it's super thick like that. I mean, come on. Again, I'm not running this through any software, so the audio is just getting picked up by the mic. I'm sure it sounds kind of like shit, but I'm telling you, like in the room, a clean Fender amp on like 2.5 to 3 with a good amount of the built-in reverb. Oh, I love it. That's why they're like, digital versus the real thing. I mean, I'll let you hear them side by side. Here's the splash of the reverb in the tube amp, right? Here's my reverb on the Helix. Like it does the same thing. It's like slightly different. I'd say it's like marginally better on the tube amp, but that's coming from the Helix. I think that is good enough. That's good enough for me, anyways. I agree. The reverb on the tube amp is objectively better, but the Helix is a little more convenient. And if it's 5 to 10% less, then that's just kind of what it is. But do I have this set up properly? All right. So I have a bunch of reverbs and a bunch of delays tied to an expression pedal. And so what you wind up with is like this is with it all the way back. when you push it all the way forward, it puts the reverbs and the delay like so unbelievably far into the mix that the notes blend in. Right? It's like, I don't know how usable that is in like real life, but I can tell you that it is super, super fun to play. Very, very fun to play. Especially like these cool lights that I have in here. Like when I turn the main house lights off in the front and this gets super dark, man. Yeah, I'm going to do that once I stop streaming. Wow. I don't know. I used to love just like distortion all the time, but now I'm much more into mainly reverb and delay. I think right now I've got a chorus that I'm playing with. Subtle. And then did I change that? Oh yeah. That's a harmonic tremolo. That was a phaser yesterday. I forgot I changed that. But yeah, tremolo is another one where I want it to be a part of my repertoire regularly. But all the tremolos in the Helix, I'm not the biggest fan of. And the tremolo on the amp only really happens when you twist the knob. And that's a lot of work. Oh, man. Oh, snap. Hang on, y'all. We got a visitor. Little homie. Oh, it's my buddy Jax. You never see him in any of the videos, but I can assure you that he's there. He's always by my feet. Well, I appreciate you for hanging out. Say thank you, Jax. Say thank you, Jax. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for watching the content as well. I really appreciate you. I really hope you enjoy what is to come in the near future, man. Like I said, I got a lot coming, and I actually think I'm gonna call it for the night as well. I went for over an hour, and we will leave it at that. So I think I edited this about 20 minutes ago. We're going to do it again. My name is Zach. This has been Audibly Chill. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one.